Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
The one pilot that I was talking to you about, unfortunately, they're going Latina now for the role. So, unfortunately, we will not be getting the appointment for that one.
I'm just so sick of this.
And I was just like, you should be used to this by now. I don't get why
You can't put it on your altar.
Right,
You go in and you let God do the rest.
right.
And today we're here to start off another wonderful week's worth of content. Today we're actually going to be talking about a performer I don't think I've ever done a story on, but I know of his existence. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams at 5:30 and 7 p.m. CDT on Thursdays, and to be a part of the multifaceted panel where we discuss various topics depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, then tune in. Now, let's get on to last week's comment. Basically, on the NLE Chopper video, someone commented saying, it's very sad how you basically had to be hyper masculine and or straight passing to receive praise within our community because people were uplifting NLE Chopper rather than our actual representation, such as Lil Nas X and Santana. And what I want to say to that is, first and foremost, femphobia and colorism. But I do understand the counter argument that some people give when they say we don't have masculine gay representation in the media. And I know I've done videos in the past saying, what would that even look like? Just look at straight men. But that is a valid concern. The older I get, the more I open my mind to certain things. So maybe it's because I was more femme-leaning. I mean, I am more femme-leaning than I am masculine-leaning personality-wise, so I always related to feminine gay men more so. But I can't, off the top of my head, think of a masculine gay representation that is not like the DL Chronicles or who else? Or P-Valley, that one season where they had like the DL love interest. Notice how masculine gay representation is always interlocked with DL. I think the only masculine gay representation I've seen that wasn't like DL was in Insecure. Issa Rae's brother, he's technically gay in that role. But yeah, so I mean I understand. So, back to the original story. Today we're going to be talking about Diego Barros. Nico, who is that? He is actually a very popular go-go boy and OnlyFans performer. I've known of him because I do enjoy his content, but is actually going to be wrapped into the story. So, originally his mugshots went viral on Twitter, but I actually had this story for the past couple of days. I was just waiting for more information to come out of it because he was still on the run. So the backstory is essentially he was performing at a nightclub in McAllen, Texas called Santa Diabla. And if you do not know who Diego is, his whole shtick is that he's a very sexy, fun, hot go-go boy that will perform lewd acts with you while on stage. Nico, he will make sure that your mouth is going to good use outside of cheering for his performance. So he had an incident in the nightclub where he was doing his I'm trying to word this very carefully. He was doing his performance and 3 individuals were roped into it. Unfortunately, if you did not know, in Texas, that is not allowed. Even at like a nightclub, even at like a strip club. As someone who used to be a go-go boy, Nico, I have a long history. I have a long history that a lot of people do not know about. Even as a go-go boy, you are not allowed to show your private areas. You are not allowed to show your moochie. You're not allowed to show that. So most go-go boys in Texas have to keep their underwear on. I mean, I actually went back to Houston not too long ago, and I went to the only gay strip club that we have in the city called Tony's Corner Pocket. And even there, when the men walk on stage to do their little tease, their little shimmy, their little shake, they can't show anything. So it's like that most they pull their undies down to the top of their cheek and then they move on because there's limitations to what you can show in Texas. So as soon as I found out this happened in McAllen, I was like, oh girl, you're going down. And it's not funny, but it's like, girl, you should know that. So the three individuals, they were rounded up a few days before Diego, and he was still on the run. That's when pictures of him being wanted by the McAllen Police Department were going out. And that's what went viral on social media. As of today, he has been caught. He has been caught, and since he roped three individuals into his performance on stage, he was hit with 3 different counts of public lewdness, selling coochie. I can't say certain things on here. The profession of selling physical coochie. And from there, he was hit with a $4,000 bond for each individual that participated. They basically described it as him having super happy adult fun time on the dance floor, which is his shtick. If you are familiar with Diego, you know that that's his entire thing. I mean, yes, he's just super hot and sexy outside of that, so he's very popular, but his main selling point is when he's go-go boying or when he's dancing, he incorporates members of the crowd that he finds attractive and does little things to get people even more hyped to tip him. So once again, I'm not surprised this happened for the sole fact that this is his entire routine. He does this in every city that he goes to, but I'm more so surprised that the law actually found out what happened in the nightclub and decided to round up all 4 of these individuals. So when the information of public lewdness and the act of selling munchie came out, a lot of people were confused about what he was actually doing. He was doing his onstage routine where he incorporates the crowd in super happy adult fun time. It's not even like simulated, he's literally doing it. So once again, to do that in Texas, especially when they're cracking down on adult cinematography, when they're cracking down on LGBT rights, if we're being honest, girl, Texas is a place that I was raised in. I probably would not go back to for longer than like a vacation. It's not a place that I would settle back down to live. I could go there for like a few years to get some personal work done, or I could go visit, but overall, the South is not calling my name anytime soon. But yes, I just wanted to break that down for you guys because a lot of people were confused onto what actually happened. But let me know in the comments, do you know about Diego? Did you see his videos in the past or his dancing expertise? How do you feel about the cops purposely going after each individual that participated in this nightclub super happy adult fun time show, catching a few of them at the airport? They were trying to go back home from vacation and they got caught at the airport and hit with like a $200,000 bond. So once again, we have all the information. I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. But how do you feel about adult nightclubs having super happy adult fun time performances on stage? How do you feel about gay super happy adult fun time being plastered on screens or on, poster art? Because if we're gonna be honest, gay nightclubs aren't necessarily like taboo for this kind of behavior, if you know what I mean. Because up until recently, a lot of gay nightclubs show adult cinematography on their TVs. I honestly don't understand it, just for the sole fact that if I'm out clubbing with my friends, I'm not thinking about boom, 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 you know what I mean? But it's like a time and place. But if you're going to a place with go-go boys and strippers or exotic dancers, some might like to be called, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised by seeing people interact with said dancers, but I want to leave the conversation up to y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Justin H. and Ernest H. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. And thank you to everyone who supports the channel. We're almost at 33K girly subs! And unfortunately, this week's live stream will be canceled because I will be busy at a loved one's birthday dinner. So I will see you guys next time and we will have a good key.